What's up everyone, Sean Archer here. Good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. I'm sitting here at the pool icing my ankle in this ice cold water because it's swollen. I don't even know how it got swollen, but it is and it hurts. And finally we got some of this winter cold snap dissipating down here in Florida. Back to 70 degrees just as I like it. Stay warm wherever you are at. Guys, today I want to talk about a topic that I've done a little bit of research in because I'm very curious about this, and that is EMF radiation. So now when I say I've done a little bit of research, I've heard a lot of things. I've watched some videos by what I consider credible people doing credible tests on this kind of thing. We'll discuss some of that in this video, but all in all, the issues we're facing today are this. There's what is called ionizing radiation. That is obviously the bad radiation that we're all aware of. Fukushima, nuclear stuff, that stuff will straight up kill you, right? We know that. But there is EMF radiation. Electromagnetic frequency, which is more commonly the radiation that comes off of your laptop, your cell phone, like this thing right here, microwave, that kind of thing, and other things as well. You got these cell towers. I don't know if you can see one in the background there, but we've got cell towers everywhere. Are they harmful to you or not? Well, here's the problem. We know ionizing radiation is bad. However, we also know that EMF radiation is not good. And anybody who says, it's harmless, that's actually not true. The question is, with 5G being newer to the block, which is a higher, heavier pulse wave, how bad is it going to get in the future? As we are more tech driven, none of us can part with our cell phones anymore. We have wireless routers just bathing us on a regular basis in our houses, at work. So before I go any further, I'm going to link in the description below at least two videos. One was a great video I watched the other day. I watched a bunch, but I'm going to put just one down there. Guys who have bought EMF radiation meters, real high-end ones, and they go around, they sit inside of electric cars, they sit inside of different model Teslas. They go to your household and figure out where the most dangerous, highest levels of radiation are coming from. Then I'm going to also put a video below that's a little more extreme, and this was by a CIA whistleblower that came out talking about directed energy weapons, Havana syndrome, things like that. Havana syndrome, if you don't know what that is, back in 2016 or something like that, a lot of our CIA agents and other agents around the world started getting targeted by directed energy weapons. That could be from our own government or other governments. Basically, they're just hitting them with microwave, and it's causing them big time health issues that are debilitating. Now this stuff has been around for a long time. The military uses it. Anyways, it can be used as a weapon, and really what it comes down to is you can dial this stuff up and use it as a weapon. You can dial it real low, and the reality is the effects will be affected as a result of that. So guys, you can go down a lot of rabbit trails with all of this. Regardless, what got my attention years ago was how different countries allow different amounts of radiation to the public. The United States is absolutely horrific compared to, let's say, Europe. Europe does not allow heavy, and I don't know, I forget exactly how they measure it, but low doses of EMF radiation is what they deal with, even with their cell networks, stuff like that. Here in America, we're basically getting baked. We're getting microwaved by the heavy doses and the frequencies we're getting hit with just from our cell networks, internet providers, all that stuff. So that's not good. And let's be honest, as Americans, we know that our government does not typically care too much for us and our health. The government has never cared for your health. They love your money, and all around they want to keep you sick, but they don't want to kill you right away because they can make a lot of money off of you by keeping you sick and just draining your bank account over time. It's one of the reasons we have terrible health care here, and that is more focused on not treating the root of the issue, but they treat the fruit of the issue. They treat the symptoms, not the root cause, which is idiotic. But that's how they train doctors to do it, and whatever, we're not going down there. So I found it very interesting because years ago I heard a statistic that said, this was an actual study, that women were, I want to say 3 or 4 times more likely to miscarry if they owned a Tesla. At the time, Tesla was really the only electric car company in the game, and it had to do with EMF radiation, right? Is that true or not? I actually don't know. To this day, I don't have an answer to that. Those statistics, I guess, and I can't find that study anymore. I didn't look too hard, but I have heard that multiple times. Is it true? I don't know. But as you can see in the video I link below, these guys that took an EMF reader into different model Teslas, and what was interesting was the older Teslas had higher levels of EMF radiation. The newer ones seem to have less. Some of it came from the autopilot, right? Because that's obviously going to be connected to something down there between their feet and their legs, that kind of area of the vehicle. Some of it came from the screen, kind of like a big laptop screen. Some of it came from a wireless charger inside the vehicle. All in all, you can go back and forth whether the amount in a Tesla or any electric car is deadly. I forget what the government agency that tells you how much is acceptable. It's not a whole lot. Needless to say, I think it was like 2.5, whatever it was, you guys can watch the video, was considered all the, as much as you really want to be around and touching with your hands and being that close to. 2.5, I believe, was the limit. And don't quote me on this, guys, but your cell phone emits something like 300 compared to that. So your cell phone, guys, when we're keeping our cell phones in our pockets, on our hand, in our hands, that is really, it's really not a disputed fact anymore. That's really not good for you. They've linked sperm count decline to that kind of thing, keeping your phone in your pocket. Autoimmune issues. There is a study that's very clear that autoimmune issues are one of the direct results. Headaches, insomnia, things like that are a direct result of EMF radiation. One reason, and guys, who doesn't have a router in their house anymore, a wireless router? It's really hard to get away from this stuff. You live in a city, you're gonna get it whether you're looking for it or not. I have in my house, I have a timer in the outlet where my router is connected, and I have it turn off at a certain hour and turn back on at a certain hour in the morning. So at least at night, I'm not getting microwave dosed all throughout the night when I'm trying to sleep. Does it help? I'm sure it doesn't hurt. Does it make up for everything we're getting hit with? I have no idea. All in all, the question, and 5G hasn't been around a long time, so we don't know long-term studies. The studies that were done in the past are very polar opposite. Some say, oh, it's harmless. Some say it's absolutely horrible for you. In my mind, in my opinion, yes, ionizing radiation is bad, and everybody avoids that. Why not try to avoid EMF radiation as well, as much as you can? Now, you don't have to live in a box, and you can go to the extreme as you see fit. I personally try not to carry my phone in my pocket as much as possible. When I'm at the house, I put it on my dresser. I try not to have it on me at all times, just for I don't want to be on the phone all the time. My wife, not so much. She's a complete opposite. Yeah. So, to each his own. What concerns me is my kids. I recently, I made my 12-year-old buy his own iPhone, which he saved up his money and sold everything in his room and went and bought an iPhone. Now I'm thinking, wow, he's on it quite a bit. It's always in his hands, and he's 12 years old. What are the effects? Because I'm 38 years old, and I don't know how old you are watching this video, but you and I didn't grow up with that at a young age. And our kids nowadays are already facing all kind of issues, whether it's health, the food, it's in the water. They've got an uphill battle. And hopefully some of that gets reversed with this incoming administration that's actually, RFK Jr. is going after a lot of this stuff. And I really commend him for that, and I hope he succeeds in all that. And we need to help him and pray that this country does better in managing this harmful stuff. But it's on my mind quite a bit when I look at him and I say, okay, I'm already disgusted with how much my phone is in my hands. And I'm looking at him, he's just playing games on his phone, he's watching YouTube, and guys, they don't care much for TV. This younger crowd does not care much for TV. They got the TV in their hands, they got the internet right in their hands. And so it is, I would say it is crucial to come to an understanding, at least the dangers of this stuff, and do your own research sooner rather than later, because you can't really reverse this stuff once it's damaged your body. Yeah, I find it very sinister. And guys, you haven't seen the videos that I've seen already. Maybe some of you know this topic, but listening to this lady talk about directed energy weapons and how the future weapons don't need to be nuclear, they don't need to be explosive, they don't need to be all this Hollywood flame, you know what I mean? This is stuff that's invisible, that you can be hit with, and it can absolutely change your life. These directed, I know they use some of this in crowd control. You can look up pictures of these radar-looking dishes on the side of these riot vehicles that they can hit you with that frequency, that radiation frequency, and basically stop you dead in your tracks. They can get you to bend over and vomit and feel like you're on fire. And they can dial that up and down as much as they need to. That stuff has existed for a long time. Scary stuff. Scary stuff, because of course your body is your temple, and you get one of these in your lifetime. And I feel very convicted to try to do the best I can. Now, there's stuff we can't control, but to do the best you can with what you know, to be responsible for what you know. And I understand a lot of people that say, you know, I don't really want to know this stuff because then it's going to bother me. I kind of get that. For me, I'm a curious sort, and I want to know, and inevitably I'm going to try and avoid things like that. It's the same way with the health stuff, guys. I stay away from caffeine for that very reason. It's when you look at the effects of caffeine on your body, it's just not great. But anyways, guys, I hope you got something from this. This is kind of a long one, but I will at some point put in the description below some of these things. Do your own research. There's a lot of great research out there. What I like about YouTube is guys can go out there and they can get high-end equipment and just test stuff. They just film it and test it right there in front of you. There's no questions. I thought one of the most interesting thing was in one of the videos, they took an EMF reader very close to a cell tower, and it, for whatever reason, was less than holding your phone in your hand. And I thought it would be more extreme than that, and it didn't appear to be that way. So there's some curious stuff out there. Anyways, y'all, do your own research. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy sitting here at the pool, having a good time and trying to be a blessing to someone today. And you guys know the drill. Be a blessing to someone today. Call somebody. And you know the drill. TIA. This is America. I'll see you in the next video. Sean Archer. I'm out.